Welcome back to the Sound for More channel. Today I have the pleasure to introduce you to a new synth called Atomika from Cherry Audio. Before I continue, I would like to remind my viewers to subscribe as it helps with growing the channel. Additionally, if you would like to support what I do, please do make sure to check the instruction in the video description. Thank you again. So, Atomika is an emulation of the Soviet Polivoks synthesizer, which was created in the Formanta Radio Factory. And roughly 1980s, 1982, 1919, around that time, by Vladimir Kuzmin. And really a great synth with a lot of character. And of course, this is an emulation, and that is what you see on the screen now. It was really famous for the type of filter implementation, and now I'm pleased to actually let you know that that emulation, it is being created through the effort of Mark Barton, and which is a frequent collaborator in terms of work that has been done with Cherry Audio. And it's been difficult in the past to emulate the synthesizer, but now, of course, we have it. What you hear at the moment is, of course, the default preset. So nothing really magical about that. Now, before we go into listening to what it can do, there are a couple of other things that, of course, the synth has been improved in terms of the original Polivoks. So you will find that is not anymore only duophonic, as the original synth was. You can see here you have up to 16 voices. And I really like from an UI point of view that you see you can highlight different part of the synth. It really is implemented really nicely. The UI itself is really good. Looks at the presentation of the keyboard here with reflection on the keys as well. It's quite great. It is running at the moment as a VST3 inside Ableton Live. Did I have a single problem? Really robust implementation. Of course, there are other things which you will find. You will find additions, such as like staff to get that bubbling effect, drive. But you have also here two type of views. At the moment, the selected one is main, but if you click on ARP and effect, you find that you have an arpeggiator now, and you have different effects like a phaser, flange, chorus, echo, reverb. So it's great to see that we have additional functionality compared to the original synth. Now, I spent a bit of time recently to actually try out, and it's great. It's one of those synth that you want to have in your studio as an additional one. It doesn't cost a lot. It's around $50. And but I think for the type of sound that you get is well worth. Now, if you click up here, you have access to presets, and of course you have a collection here of presets in different categories. You have all preset, favorite, recent, and then you have different categories here which you can choose. And as I mentioned, it is absolutely amazing in terms of sound. So let's go to ARPs and let's listen to this pulse. You can hear that character of the synth is really nice. You can see the levels up here and going from green to red, of course, the overall volume here. It is really well presented, well organized, and at the top here you find traditional controls as other UI from Cherry Audio. But let's go to the next preset here with the arrows. So next preset, previous preset, and here of course you can choose a preset, save a preset and create a new one, right? So really simple. really nice harp for that type of acid sounds, right? I find the name quite appropriate here, angelic, because it's type of angelic type of sound. Let's go for this bass line harp. Sounds like from the 80s, Italo disco, right? So we've gone an octave lower. And if you switch here to the arpeggiator, you find that the arpeggiator is on. You can see here on is active, is flashing here, right? And you can see the speed has been set here between 2 and 3 as well, is going up in terms of arpeggiator mode. So, and is going up by 2. That is the range in terms of the octaves that it covers. So you can really get that sound from the 80s, 90s, really, really, really great. So let's try a few more presets. You can almost use this one, for example, in a movie when helicopters are coming around or attacking, something like that. Your enemies is coming along, really great. Now let's go to some basses as well. Here you can set the range for the oscillator. You can see you have 2 oscillators, oscillator 1 and oscillator 2. And then each one you can set the frequency here for the range. All right. And then you can change the type of waveform here. So triangle, ramp, square, large pulse, narrow pulse. And then you can set the modulation level. And here you can set how much of frequency modulation you can receive from oscillator number 2. And then on oscillator number 2, similar controls with the exception that here you have detuning. And then of course you have a mixer here. You can decide how much you want from oscillator 1, how much you want from oscillator 2, and of course add some noise. You can hear I'm adding some noise, right? This is definitely abrasive with some sample and hold, of course. And let's go to the arpeggiator actually, right? And you can see you have a selection here for sample and hold. You have up and down here as well. And here, right here, actually on the modulator, not on the arpeggiator, on the modulator here, you see that you have sample and hold. That is why you hear that sound. You have the phaser, which is on, and you have the modulator here, the effects modulator, which is coming from here, which is active. You see, it's positive here. It can be also negative in terms of influence. And then here you have the speed set for the modulator, like an LFO, effectively. And then it is on, right? And then it's set to sample and hold. That is why you have that variability. You find that the effect modulator can be applied, you can see here on the phaser, on the flanger and chorus, as well on the echo, and as well on the reverb, right? So pretty straightforward. Find there is a bit of noise here, that is why you hear that, and then you find here the sustain and quite a long decay. The attack is almost zero, so you have your ADSR here for the filter. You can set the cut-off the resonance. You have key tracking as well. You can set the envelope on one shot or multiple, like in a loop, right? Then you have starve effect. It's like a bubbling type of effect. And drive, and you can change the type of response, bypass, low pass, high pass, notch, pick. Then you can apply modulation, of course, from this modulator here. The envelope, you can set the depth and how much you want to influence by velocity the filter. So pretty straightforward, really. You have gliding here, of course, which you can set. You can activate unison here as well, and you can set detuning for unison as well. And here the number of voices. You can activate a modulation wheel if you like or not, sync to the host, yes or no, key reset for the modulator. And here you have the waveforms for the modulator and of course the speed. So, and then here you have your amp section. Again, you have your attack, decay, sustain, and release, your ADSR. You have a drive for the amp as well, your modulation, which comes from the modulator here, and then how much this envelope is influenced by the velocity, right? And then you can set it again, single mode or loop mode. So pretty much those are the controls with a master tuning here. Of course, on the effect side, well, it's for you to explore, right? You can make it galactic as a reverb, you see is active. You can change the decay, increase or decrease it. You can have a pre-delay, you can change high pass. So you can cut that long tail depending on how you want. You can apply low pass as well. So between the two, you can get the effect that you're looking for. You can apply, again, decay in terms of modulation, which is great, and then your dry and wet mix. Here you have an echo. You can hear it here. You can set the timing. You can turn it on as a sync to the host. You can decide the type of echo, digital tape and ping pong, right? Set the rate, the feedback, how long you want the feedback. Say much longer or shorter. The dampness, depth or modulation, and the spread, of course, and then the dry and wet. And then you can change the time here through the modulator. Really nice. Again, here you have flanger and chorus. You can switch between the two here. You can set the speed, the resonance, the depth. Set the sync here for the speed to the host, and then you can decide the dry and wet here, and of course the modulation here. To hear it better, let's create a new sound. Clicking up here, new. As your flanger. Speed, sync to host. You can see it goes in hertz now. You can set your resonance. You can choose to modulate further, depending on the setting you have here, and then you dry and wet mix, right? You can set the chorus as well. And of course, you can turn it off. And then you have a phaser, and you can you have really standard set of parameters: speed, resonance, depth, and the host sync again. How much you want to modulate here further for the effect modulator here, and then your Q wave. Okay. Let's go back to the main view here. Let's change the cutoff frequency here. Give more resonance. Now let's try the starve. You can hear that type of bubbling effect, which works really, really well when you have high resonance. Okay. We can act on the modulator here. Changing the speed here, the waveform. If we like, of course, to do that. At the moment you hear both oscillator here, 1 and 2. Of course, you can remove one. Change the waveform here. Triangle. Let's give it more release. Sorry, this is the filter, so we need to go here to the release, for the amp. Let's give it a bit of attack. Let's move these instead of monophonic 16 voices. Let's go up. Bit of drive. Let's introduce the second oscillator. A bit lower as amplitude. Let's go to the effect now. I start to add some whole reverb. Some chorus. Decrease the speed too much. Let's go back to the main view. Let's add some modulation here. Decrease the speed. Let's set the triangle here as a waveform for the modulator. You have created a fantastic new preset. Of course, let's activate Unison. Let's decrease the volume. Of course, when you are in Unison mode, of course, you have all your voices together. You can adjust the tuning here as well. So you can hear the preset is really, really nice. Now let's try some bells. Definitely astral signals from space. Let's try some crispy bells. Definitely crispy, and let's try some dark bells. Definitely they have more body, right? Let's go lower. So they are definitely darker, right? Now let's try this diving. So you hear this decay of the tuning, right? These are nice with probably more reverb. Wow, you can create something really nice. Oh, great. Now let's try something different. Let's go for those brass sound. Let's see what you can do. Really nice. A chorusy brass. Indeed, here you have the chorus on. Really, really great. Let's try this string polybrass. Oh, really nice. You can use that, for example, even in environment like churches. It sounds really, really great. Let's try some keys. Okay. Ambient key. Gorgeous sound with a lot of reverb here. I set to galactic. You can see decay high. You have a bit of flange effect there. Do you notice as well how it fits well on the UI of the screen? It really fits really well, and you don't have problem to resize the UI, which not many synth, they're getting better of course, but not many VST fit very well on the screen. Well, this one does. It's definitely an Atomika. Really great. Now let's try some lead. Let's see what we can do. It's quite strong. Big reeds. Okay, can definitely do lead as a type of synth. That is what I would be expecting. But let's see what it can do when it comes to pads. My favorite type of preset. That was really great, really majestic. First light, like first encounter, right? Could be used as a march type of actually sound. Type of sound. I like this because it comes in late, but that's because you have quite a lot of attack here on the filter and also on the amplitude, so really great. And that is why it kind of simulates that cello type of preset, right? Choral pad. Let's see what happens when we go lower of an octave. Interesting. The other thing you notice up here, you have oversampling, so you can set it to the highest, and then you can see change the colors there. Let's go higher. Sounds really good. I also like that the oversampling here stays the same as you're moving between presets, which is great. I think the name of this preset, Come in the Morning, is absolutely great. It's like waking up, right? Crystal clear now. Let's adjust a bit the volume. Absolutely great. I think the Mark Barton did a fantastic job here in terms of the work on the synth, so the emulation is great. Absolutely amazing, it's memorizing, so let's go for some pluck and let's see how it behaves here. I always like to have a lot of reverb. Yeah, almost a pluck. There's a bit of string effect there. Okay. Let's go even lower. Okay, interesting. Ooh. Okay. Really interesting. Okay, let's try some poly here. Very celestial, very type of sound that you can hear in churches, like almost like an organ. Here the movement on the filter, you can see the sustain is set to 0, so it's not sustaining that. You have definitely a movement. Great, sounds really good. Absolutely great. Let's try some strings. Oops, a little bit too high. Definitely ancient strings. Let's try the Starvings one, which has the starve set in high. This is nice. Sounds really, really nice. I'm just checking here. You have the flanger on, you have some modulation set to 0 or whatever Also 0 here, so it's definitely the star here. Really great. You can see it says edited when you change the parameters, of course. You can use that to actually almost like an alien arriving to Earth, right? Type of sound in a movie. Okay, I'm going to stop here. I hope you enjoyed the demonstration, but also going through a little bit the controls as we were playing with the presets. So you have an idea now how it works. It's definitely worth the cost of the license, in my view. It performs really well. So, and thank you to Cherry Audio for giving me the opportunity to review it. Thank you very much.